Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tour Pro Talks. I'm Genevieve White. I'm a copywriter and coach, and I help tour professionals write confident copy so you can grow your audience and make more money. And my very special guest today is Ashley Griffiths, a confidence on video coach. Welcome, Ashley. How are you today?
Very, very well. Very, very well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm fine. I've got a bit of a stiff neck, but apart from that, I'm okay.
Oh,
Ashley, we got so much to talk about. So sometimes I do a bit of like chatting about the weather pleasantries, but we're not going to bother with that today because I know we got so much to talk about. So you may have seen, if you're watching, that I put a wee poll out about making videos and what might be stopping you from making videos to promote your business. And the results were interesting. Some of you said you just lacked confidence. For some people, it was a time issue. Some people, it was a tech issue. And some people just said they felt like a bit of an idiot filming themselves when they were out and about in their destinations. So I thought, Ashley, we could maybe begin with talking about that. First of
sure.
all, what do you think people's main barriers are when it comes to showing up on video?
Well, all of the things you just mentioned, because let's go with the Egypt example to start with. I think talking to a piece of glass and plastic is not natural, or it certainly doesn't feel that way to start with. We're human beings. We pick up on verbal and non-verbal cues. We like to feel like we're not screaming into the void when we're recording and or speaking. And when we go live or when we record a video, we're not getting that feedback from anyone. So it's very easy to get stuck in your head. And then if you are prone to put, oh well, I got balloons coming up, and if you're prone, it's meant to turn them off, and if you're prone to
No, come
perfectionism,
on.
I, they have an habit of turning up whenever they do. So if you're prone to perfectionism, procrastination, and suffer from comparisonitis, it's very easy to go, no, I'll record it again. I'll record it again. I'll record it again. And before you know it, you've got a 30-second video that's taken you about 30 days to even, and you're on 978 takes, and you're no closer to posting the video. So that is one of the things that gets in the way. Then there's that time issue. So obviously, I just explained right there how it takes forever to record a short-term video, a short video, because ultimately you're worrying about the perception of it. You're thinking it needs to be a certain way, it needs to be slick, it needs to look like the influencers on Insta, or insert your guru here, a Stephen Bartlett, a Tony Robbins, that actually have a team that do it for them. And you're comparing yourself to them, thinking it has to look a certain way. And then again, that can lead to the time and that. And then thinking you need to have a PhD in editing, which you really don't, especially in the tour space. You're kind of selling you're selling places, destinations, experiences. That's what people care about, not your editing skills. They couldn't care less about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much I recognize from my own experiences there, and how it's all bound together as well, because often we think, oh, it's going to take so much time because I look such a mess. It's going to take me so much time to sort my appearance out. And then I've got to be word perfect. So I've got to keep doing these retakes and that's going to add up to the time. So it's all really kind of bound together, isn't it? With this confidence thing.
It's huge.
So what can people do? I know you're not going to want to give away all of your secrets on this show, Ashley, but I wonder if you could maybe share a couple of little starter tips. How can people get over some of these blocks they have around video?
Sure. Well, I always say, if you were actually delivering it live, if you were on a tour with someone, if you were doing a presentation, if you're doing an interview, are you literally going to say to yourself, oh, I got tongue tied, right, 1 minute, I'm going to walk out the room and we'll start again later, okay? You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. So my advice to you is to treat it as if you were live. Always have someone in mind when you're speaking to the camera. Always. That was for me when I started this video journey. That was the biggest game changer. I actually had someone, well, not literally, but I put someone in the room with me. I saw them. Had them right there, and I placed them right in front of the camera, and I talked to them. I talked directly to them, and instantly, literally overnight, my delivery became more natural. I became less of a newsreader. I felt less awkward, and my personality came out. And ultimately, your personality is what's going to create that connection with your potential clients or collaborators, whatever it is you're seeking to achieve by putting videos out there. Because if you're trying to attract people onto your tours or onto the services you offer, they need to know that they're going to actually enjoy spending time with you, and that they feel like they can trust you. Because if you're not their type of person, they go on a tour with you, that might kind of have an impact on their experience. That will make them maybe not the greatest customer for you. So this is the reason I always say lead with personality, because it acts as a filter. It filters in the people that think, oh, I like their vibe, I like their energy, oh, I could imagine being on a tour with them. And it also repels those people that think, nah, not my type of person. Nah, I'm going to go with someone else. So always have someone in mind, and talk as if you're live.
I think these are amazing tips. And I think I did see the talk as if you're live tip on one of your posts before, and I did try using it and it helped so much. But leading on from your point about having a person in mind, which I think is a really good idea, the person you have in mind, should it be a potential client, customer, visitor, or should it be a friend? Because I'm just thinking there's probably you'd probably present yourself in a slightly different way if you were speaking to a good friend than if you were speaking to a potential client, depending on the kind of tour service you're offering. So what would you suggest?
It's very subjective. I feel like my advice to you with that would be, how do you show up for your clients? What do they see when they work with you? What sort of personality do you show? Because ultimately they're going to be making a judgment on, do I want to go with that person? So if you're showing up in a way that you're not going to be on your tours, you're effectively mis-selling. So think specifically of, how do you deliver your tours? How do you show up in your tours? And that's how you show up. So with that in mind, think about a time when you've been on a tour with someone and you've just loved it. The experience has been truly amazing. You've just literally come away from that tour just like, isn't life great? Like, I love my job. Oh, my life. That's the person you want to be talking to.
Yeah. Excellent advice there, I think. Just before we go on to the next question, I'd just like to say to everybody watching, please do feel free to say hello. Don't be shy. As you can see, Ashley's very friendly and approachable, and feel free to ask him any questions at all. I've got my own questions for Ashley, but make the most out of this session by asking any questions or any concerns you've got about showing up on video for your tourism business. So Ashley, I'm just going to mention briefly, actually, I was talking to a tour guide recently, and I was so often when I am working with tour professionals, one of the first things I notice is they've maybe got amazing images, might have good copy on their website, but there's like a distinct lack of video presence. And something that a tour guide said to me was, oh, I don't feel I've got the right kind of equipment. I don't have, like a the sort of microphone that picks up all the sound. I don't have a very good, I don't have the technical know-how. I don't think I'm very good with my camera. And he was worried about feeling unprofessional, about coming across as unprofessional. What would you say to people who just feel they maybe go onto Instagram and they look at all these really slickly produced videos and feel, I can't compete with that? What would your advice be?
Don't compete with it. That it's literally they're doing their thing. That's got absolutely nothing to do with you. Think about what is your business, what lights you up, what are you passionate about, who do you like working with, and that's the place you come at it from. The question that we talked about this just before we came on is, ask yourself, do people hire you because of your editing skills, or because they feel like they can trust you to deliver an excellent tour? The editing skills are totally irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. Yes, from a time saving point of view, knowing some basic editing helps, because then you're able to splice together images or do a few little tricks that really help to kind of bring your videos to life a little bit. But generally, the message is always the most important thing. And the only real equipment you need, and the good thing of modern technology is, you've got it in your pocket. You just need one of these. That's enough. And you don't need to go out and buy the iPhone 978. I'm currently working with a £200 smartphone, and the video quality on that is fantastic. The audio quality is good enough. Is it professional sounding studio sound? No. Does it need to be? No. Ultimately, I'm not being judged on, oh, well, look, he's got an amazing studio setup. Totally irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something we worry about, but obviously needlessly. As long as we can be heard, that is the main thing. Now, there's a question, Ashley, I don't know if you can see it. There's a question from Martin Rosenberg. Hello, Martin. And he's asking about video length. How long should a video be, especially as TikToks and the main are only 15 seconds?
Videos are as long as they need to be. I think immediately with that, if you get hung up on the length, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Ultimately, the main thing is the message. Now, yes, in social media land, where goldfishes have actually got a bigger attention span than humans, length needs to be on the short side, especially when you are starting out, because you don't have the audience. You don't have the equity with that audience to ask them to spend 3, 4, 5 minutes with you. But the fact of the matter is, some messages need that long. The words need time to breathe. So to start with, I'd say the sweet spot is anything between 30 and 90 seconds to start with. TikTok and a lot of other platforms have been moving towards longer form content for quite a while. YouTube Shorts still will top you out at a minute. Instagram Reels, I believe, is still 90 seconds max. Lives, you're pretty much good to go. LinkedIn tops out about 10 minutes, but no one's watching a 10-minute video of you if you haven't got the audience. People will watch it if you have an established audience. So my advice to you regarding that is just one message, one video, and don't get too hung up on the time. If it's a concise message and it's a message that speaks wholeheartedly to one specific type of person, they'll pay attention, because they'll feel like you're talking directly to them.
Brilliant. Okay. That's some good advice. So basically, you're just focusing on what needs to be said, not fussing about the time. Brilliant. We got some comments here.
So Hans is
Eliz-
smashing to Elizabeth's comment. You don't get
Yes,
guns like that with a small phone, I tell you.
and hello to Junaid. Lovely to see you here, Junaid. And Elizabeth again. Yep, absolutely. It's about you or your message. Brilliant. Keep the comments and questions coming, please. It's lovely to hear from you all. Um, there's Martin saying thank you. Okay. Um, you mentioned Ashley there. You've mentioned live videos a couple of times, and I wondered if we could maybe talk a little bit more about that because
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, there was your comment about when you're making a video pretending it's a live video, which is obviously very effective. The thought of actually doing a live video can be very scary, can't it? So, but it can also be very effective. So, what would you say about people who are maybe thinking about using live videos as part of their strategy?
Go for it. Give it a go. Play with it. And the one thing I will definitely say is when you do post that live, you're probably going to be cringing real bad. And you're going to think, oh no, I've got to delete that. And my advice to you with that is don't even think about pressing that delete button. Leave it. And the reason I'm saying that is because A, it's out there, it's real, it's raw, it's you. So leave it out there. And as humans, we love comparing. We just can't help ourselves. We're kind of hardwired to do it. So once you've got that first video out, be that live, be that a pre-recorded one, always use that as the benchmark from where, and that milestone, that's your first milestone. So if you insist that if you really must compare yourself with that first video, because each video, I guarantee you, you will improve. It may not be massively noticeable overnight, but if you look back a week, a month, a year back at that first video, you're going to be like, oh, wow, I feel so much more confident on camera now. And the one thing I will say about lives is actually quite a few people feel they're actually happier doing the lives than doing the pre-recorded because just that it's live. It's literally you've got your camera and you're like da 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 da, and you just talk and it's real. And in the tour space, the good thing is if you're that nervous about being on camera, don't even have to be on camera. You can just literally record where you are and do the talking behind the camera. So you could if you're even like for me, when I travel, I'm all about finding the best cafes I can, grabbing a coffee and people watching. So I'd be like, and if there's any like unique snacks, like when I was in Sweden, like with the fika concept there, or the empanadas in Central and South America, I'm making that the main event. And maybe I'll put a little, I'll turn the camera on myself with a big cheesy grin at the end and go, love it. So it ultimately, give it a go. That's the thing I'll implore you to do. There is absolutely nothing to lose. And with each video you do, with each one that you do, you realize by pressing that post button, that record button, oh, look, I'm still here. I haven't set off a nuclear holocaust. Brilliant. Great. The world hasn't exploded. Brilliant. And it's out into the world.
Mm. Couple of really good tips there. I mean, I really like the idea of the fact you don't have to be in front of the camera the whole time. You can build up to it as well, can't you? I mean, that could be a good way of building up your confidence gradually, as you say, just recording a little bit of street life and then just turning the camera onto you at the end. And then you can maybe go from there. So you don't need to necessarily start being, your full face on the screen for 5 minutes. You can build up to it in stages, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, and if you're really trying to build up, if it really feels that loaded for you, you don't even have to post those videos to start with. I mean, what you can do is literally just start creating a video that only you will see. So you can literally press that record button and talk to it about anything.
Mhm.
Talk about the weather, talk about your day, talk about something you've seen on LinkedIn, something that's pissed you off, whatever, anything. And you basically creating this video diary. And then when you're feeling good, you're like, literally, right, that's going, that's good enough. I'm putting that out there. That needs to be seen. So that's something that you can do. You know, it's all about just getting that, just doing it, you know, and getting on camera and finding the way that works for you. Because I think
Mm.
the thing that hold us back a lot of the time is a lot of shoulds and a lot of have tos, and the wonderful world of comparison-itis. The fact that we feel we have to be a certain way, or we only have to say stuff, certain things. We need to be this. Well, how about focusing on what you are, what you believe in? So if you offer tours in a specific city, I'm guessing right now, well, not guessing, I know you're passionate about that city, the history, the location. Show that it's magnetic. And you'll even potentially get someone who generally doesn't go on tours to buy. That's me. You can, because that passion will sell you. It really does. It's so infectious. So infectious.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got another question from Martin, and this is, aha, yes,
Yep.
it's about editing, splicing, and joining up. So, what's the best, easiest app or program to do this?
CapCut.
Hmm.
CapCut is the easiest, without a shadow of a doubt. You do not need any, and I say this having guided people that describe themselves as technophobes or completely useless with technology. I've guided them quite simply through a few steps that enable them to do the editing and the splicing. Very simple, very intuitive. So CapCut is a great tool. If you're doing anything on your desktop, then Descript is a great tool as well. That's
Descript.
brilliant, because you don't need a PhD in editing for that. You literally edit. You post the video into Descript, it creates a transcript, and you do the edits in the transcript. So it's like a document. So if you've got
Oh,
one
wow.
sentence where you're like, what's my name? You can literally highlight that, delete, it's gone. It's
Oh,
just
that's brilliant. I'll pop these in the comments once we've finished, just in case anyone didn't catch that. But so CapCut and Descript. So CapCut you can use on a mobile phone, but not on a
no,
desktop. Is
it's got
that
a
right?
desktop. It's got a desktop as well. I
Okay.
use it predominantly on my phone. So all the
Okay.
videos that you see, most of the videos, if you see the horizontal videos on LinkedIn of mine, they've all been edited in CapCut. The square ones I've edited in Descript.
Right. Okay. And are both of these programs free?
They have free options. Yeah, CapCut, totally. You can upgrade to the Pro for all loads of spangly features that you simply don't need. Descript does have a free version, but there will be a watermark on it if you release any of the videos. So if that's a problem or you're not happy with that, then just go for the cheapest package you can get, which isn't massively expensive.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, so that'll be really useful from the editing point of view. Although, I mean, I think as you've said earlier on in the interview, I mean, editing is important, right? But you shouldn't be getting completely obsessed with it because you could end up eating up a lot of time. And the more time that you spend on videos, the less likely you probably are to want to make videos.
Oh yeah, because then it just becomes this big deal. It becomes so much bigger than it actually is. It's The message is always the most important thing. So the edits are there to enhance or to add to the video. They're not the main event. They're not the
Mhm.
main event. So you don't need all the bells and whistles. You really don't, especially in the tour area, travel area. Throwing in some images or maybe some videos of you on location and just splicing them in if you're introducing it is the way to go. And
Mhm.
splicing together different videos is, again, in CapCut and Descript is pretty straightforward.
Good. I'll need to go and give that a try. I haven't used CapCut or Descript before, so yeah, sounds like we'll all be going and having a little play around with these things at the end of this, I'm sure. Okay, I've got another question from myself, but I think I probably know your answer already. I can predict your answer. What would you say to people who feel that they don't fit in with the Instagram mold when it comes to maybe they feel too old compared with other tour professionals in their region, or yeah, or to they don't fit in with the picture perfect appearance. You get a lot of tour professionals who just are very young, are very beautiful. And what would you say to people if they really are feeling like, I don't fit in. I don't feel confident with appearing on video.
Okay. My question, I'll answer that with a question and say, who are your clients? Who are the people you want to work with? There's loads of people that go on tours. So the focus always needs to be on who you're talking to. Those Instagram people, the gurus, the influencers, they may be targeting a completely different market to you. And your clients may think that and go, well, I'm not going with them because they're going to probably get me going on a bar crawl, or they're going to get me doing, they're going to be doing shots on one of those silly bicycles that go around bloody party towns. Again, I'll come back to what I said earlier on: attraction and repelling. Your content needs to attract the people that you want to work with and repel the people that you don't want to work with. And the way that you do that is A, knowing who you want to talk to, and B, thinking about, okay, how do I show up when I am with those people? It's not about fitting in. The moment you go into that energy of trying to fit into a box of someone else's creation, is the moment you diminish your energy. And everything becomes a chore because you're doing things because you should do something or you have to do something. That is not a place of empowerment. That is not a place of empowerment at all. You're disempowering yourself when you're in that energy. And that energy comes across in your videos because you'll be dialing it in and you'll be talking like a newsreader because you're just so not aligned with the message. So think about who you are, who you want to work with, and let your passion and personality drive that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that's a really good point, Ashley, because if people think about it themselves, I mean, when you are booking a tour, you wouldn't book somebody based on their appearance or because they looked young. You'd book somebody because you thought you'd have a really good time with them, because you'd get on well with them. I think we often have this I can't even say it. Just can you say it for me?
Comparinitis.
Thank you. We often have that for ourselves, but when it's completely different when we're booking a service for ourselves. We don't go on looks and age, do we? We don't use them as criteria at all. Okay, I have a question which leads me very nicely on to my final question as well. So Carol's asking if she should DM you to discuss a one-to-one session. And that leads on to my question as well, really. I wondered if you just maybe like to talk about the kind of things you do with your clients. What could somebody expect from a session with yourself?
Yeah, sure. And so yeah, Carol, absolutely. Send me a DM. I'd love to have a chat with you. And ultimately, the way that a session or a program looks with me is all about, it's very holistic, very holistic. So it's looking at who you are, what you do, illustrating your strengths, your personality, your vibe, and ultimately your goals, not someone else's, not some influencer who's trying to 10 times your sales or any of that stuff, what you actually want. So that is the foundation. So we work through that. And then from there, we'd create video strategy for you that you actually enjoy doing, you feel empowered to do, because it comes from here. It comes from here, and you're all over it. So I then sit in the background, offer encouragement, cheerleading, and well, sometimes there needs to be a kick. Then I will deliver that. But it's very much how you are in terms of the person you are. It's not. I'll never force you to do anything you don't want to do. This is driven by you. So I'll sit in the background. We work through that strategy and get it out into the world. And that's pretty much. And then after that, you're flying. There is a bit of editing in there, but the editing is focused more on time saving, so that you're able to maximize the time that you've got in your day to actually record and edit without having to dedicate 15 hours in your already busy schedule. Because who's got that? I know I don't.
It sounds absolutely amazing, and I'm sure everybody who's watching will really have picked up on your very infectious energy and positivity. And I just like to thank you so much, Ashley, for sharing your words of wisdom with us today. You certainly persuaded me to up my video game. And I know that it will be the same for everyone who's been watching. So thank you so much for coming today. Do you have any final words to share?
No final words of wisdom. I'm we sure we want to do that? I've already been on my soapbox. No, I'll just echo what I've said earlier on, and that is just go for it. It's your business, your rules. You literally have a blank canvas out there, and always again have that person in mind that you want to speak to, because I know when you start off, it can feel like you're shouting into the void. Just believe, keep believing that, and speaking to that person, and they will find you when you're ready, when they're ready.
Brilliant advice. Thank you so much, Ashley. I look forward to. I keep, I always enjoy your posts and the advice that you share. So yeah, keep up the great work. And Carol says thank you. I'm sure everybody has really enjoyed today's session. So thank you all very much for watching, and thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.